It's 6 a.m., the world's still half asleep, and I'm cradling a mug of coffee, ready for a quiet morning on my grandpa's farm. Then beyond, the ground shakes like a freight train's derailed. Not an earthquake, not a storm, but 3 bulldozers tearing up my driveway, with a woman in stilettos waving a clipboard like she's commanding an army. That's how I met Sandra Klein, Ironwood Estates HOA president, who thought she could steamroll my life over a forged map. Big mistake. I'm Ethan Morrow, retired county surveyor, the guy who drew the line she was trying to erase, and let me tell you, she picked the wrong driveway to mess with. I'd moved to this 10-acre spread outside Grand Junction, Colorado, to get some peace after losing my wife, Rachel, to cancer. The farm wasn't much Greeky farmhouse, a sagging barn, a gravel lane my grandpa laid in '59, but it was mine, a place to heal, to plant a garden and let the quiet sink in. I wasn't looking for trouble, but trouble found me, courtesy of Ironwood Estates, a gated community that sprouted up next door in 2010. First, it was petty stuff, letters about my non-compliant fence, my mailbox being too rustic, even a fine for excessive bird activity, because sparrows liked my apple tree. I laughed it off, framed the bird one for kicks. But then Sandra upped the ante with a certified letter demanding $18,000 in retroactive road usage fees, claiming my driveway built decades before her HOA existed encroached on their land. I'm thinking, lady, you're out of your mind. That morning, though, when those bulldozers rolled in, it wasn't funny anymore. I stumble onto the porch, coffee splattering, and there's Sandra, all business, barking, "Mr. Morrow, you've ignored our notices. This road's being removed." I'm half awake, heart pounding, but I manage. "Sandra, this driveway's older than your neighborhood. You got no claim here." She smirks, waves a folder of papers like it's the Constitution. "County records say otherwise. Pay the fines or lose the access." Behind her, the bulldozers growl, and the crew looks uneasy, like they know this is nuts but can't say it. That's when it hits me. His isn't a mistake, it's a power play. Sandra's not just after my driveway. She's testing me, thinking I'm some old widower who'll fold. "Oh, honey, you have no idea. See, I spent 30 years mapping this county, every lot, every boundary, every culvert. I signed the plats that let Ironwood exist. If anyone knows where the lines are, it's me." So I take a breath, flash a smile, the kind that says I'm already 3 steps ahead, and head inside to dig through my files. My neighbor, Clara, a retired reporter with a nose for BS, stops by later with a pie and a warning. "Ethan, Sandra's dangerous. She fined a vet for flying a flag, threatened a family over a lemonade stand. She's not protecting Ironwood's, building an empire." Clara's right. Sandra's family lost a real estate deal in the '90s when my grandpa refused to sell this land. This is personal, and that $18,000? Just the opening shot. I pull out my grandpa's deeds, cross-reference them with county records, and spot it immediately. Sandra's official survey is a fake. The signature's mine, but the Y's wrong, too loopy, not my sharp flick. The stamps are outdated, the notary's in a font, like someone thought Comic Sans could pass for legal. It's a forgery so bold it's almost art. I call my old pal, Mike, at the county clerk's office. "Bring those papers," he says. "This smells like fraud." We spend hours in the basement, pulling microfilm like we're in a detective flick. Sure enough, Sandra's plat shifts my driveway onto HOA land. But the original 1963 map? Crystal clear land, untouched. Worse, I find something juicy. Ironwood's clubhouse, their pride and joy where Sandra holds court, sits 35 feet over my property line, along with parts of 6 homes and their precious tennis court. Karma just handed me a sledgehammer. This isn't just about my driveway anymore. Clara's been talking to neighbors, and the stories pour in. Folks find into bankruptcy over wind chimes, a teacher harassed for a non-approved lawn chair. Sandra's not running an HOA. She's running a racket, using forged maps to extort anyone who doesn't bow. But she's sloppy, and I've got the receipts. I'm not mad, not yet. I'm focused, like when you're staking a boundary and no one wrong move ruins everything. Sandra's about to learn what happens when you bulldoze the wrong man's land. She doesn't back off, though. After I send a cease and desist, notarized and airtight, Sandra calls an emergency HOA meeting to push a new rule: fines for obstructing community harmony. Clara leaks the invite, and half the neighborhood shows up, not to nod along, but to watch the fireworks. I walk in, maps under one arm, forgeries under the other, feeling like I'm about to flip a table on her whole game. Sandra's late, strutting in like she's untouchable, and launches into her spiel accusing me of threatening property values, claiming I want to turn my farm into a trailer park. The crowd shifts, uneasy. They've heard her lies before, but now they're smelling the smoke. I stand, calm as a summer morning, and lay it out original plats, forged surveys, timestamps that don't add up. Then I drop the bomb. Ironwood's clubhouse? Built on my land. So are your tennis courts, Sandra's deck, and half a dozen homes. The room gasps. Sandra laughs, shrill. That's ridiculous. But her own board member, Ellen, pipes up, I want to see those maps. It's like watching a dam crack. Neighbors whisper, someone pulls out their deed, and Sandra loses idioling at Clara for spying, snapping at a kid filming on his phone. She's not a leader. She's a cornered animal, and I've got her cage key. The next morning, Sheriff Tom Vance rolls up to the clubhouse, where Sandra's pacing like a general without an army. Clara's there, filming discreetly, and I'm watching from my porch as Tom hands Sandra a manila envelope. MS. Klein, we've got evidence of forgery, fraud, and illegal land claims. You're coming with me. Sandra's jaw drops. Her clipboard hits the ground. This is an HOA issue, she sputters. Tom's unfazed. No, ma'am, it's a crime. And you're standing on Ethan's land while committing it. The crowd neighbors, board members, even the bulldozer crew watches her get cuffed. And for the first time in years, Ironwood feels free. Here's the kicker. It wasn't the arrest that changed things. It was what came after. With Sandra gone, the HOA crumbled, then rebuilt under Ellen's lead fair. No nonsense. Clara's notes turned into a front-page story, HOA fraud unearthed. Mike helped rewrite their bylaws, pro bono, to keep the Karens at bay. Me? I didn't sue. I offered to sell the disputed land back for $1, on one condition. Turn it into a community garden, no rules, just a place for neighbors to grow food and talk. They agreed, and that patch of dirt once a battleground became Ironwood's heart. Mark, the vet fined for his flag, planted tomatoes and cried when they ripened, said it was the first real thing he'd tasted since the war. I came to this farm to grieve, to hide. Instead, I found a fight worth winning. Not with fists or lawyers, but with truth deeds, maps, and a stubborn streak my grandpa would have saluted. Ironwood's different now, cookouts instead of fines, laughter instead of clipboards. Sandra? Convicted of fraud, doing 2 years. The bulldozers? Parked for good. And my driveway? Still gravel, still mine, leading to a garden where roses bloom exactly where Sandra tried to bury me. So what's your HOA horror story? Ever face a Sandra who thought she owned your life? Drop it in the comments. I want to hear how you fought back or if you're still drawing your line. Like this if it fired you up, subscribe for more stories where the little guy wins, and share it if you've ever stared down a bulldozer and smiled. This is Ethan Morrow, saying keep your deeds close and your coffee closer. Till next time.